All right.
We're done. We're going.
We're going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey everybody, this is Don. I'm here with the artist Elvira Dale today, and we're going to talk a little bit about her work. First, I wanted to talk a little bit about her rendition of our gallery chair. So this is our gallery chair, and for every show, we have an artist change up the chair, and we're quite astounded with what Elvira has come up with for this particular rendition of our chair. You want to talk a little bit about your process?
Yeah, I guess this was somewhat a spontaneous request from the an.a.log gallery.
I'm not surprised.
Right, no, not surprised. It was great. I mean, kind of unexpected. So I was open, and we discussed it a little bit with Don and Guy, and my initial idea, of course, was to attack the functionality of the chair and render it completely.
Right, I thought you were just gonna put a little paint on it, but instead you really transformed our chair.
Yeah, so I went into Home Depot, got some wires, and it was a collaborative project actually with my husband Leon, and we sort of attacked the chair. We put a bunch of wires through it, and it's kind of turned into somewhat of a crown here, a little bit all of these kind of violent looking tentacles, almost reminiscent of COVID virus.
Yeah.
We were thinking
Not the friendliest to sit in necessarily.
no, yeah, we kind of attacked the functionality. So,
and what's happening with this element?
These guys, so these are masks,
Okay.
and they're kind of cut into rounds, and I left the strings here, and they're just sort of tripping over freely in this chair installation.
Freeform chair installation. Okay, so that's the chair. Real excited to have the chair in the gallery. It's been quite a conversation piece. But let's talk about your paintings, if we can, for a second. Okay. Let's talk about your work. So you made several paintings for us for the portrait show, specific for us. And tell us a little bit about that process and what you went through to make this work.
So these portraits were somewhat of an evolution for me. Kind of, I had to come to an understanding with myself somewhat. What is a portrait for me, especially in the time of the pandemic and shelter in place. And these were done December 2020, January 2021, and a little bit after that. So it's kind of like at the time of a lot of kind of unknowns. And I started initially, so kind of chronologically, initially I started with this portrait, and I had a hard time reconciling sort of showing the face and not showing the face, and this one is doesn't have any facial features except for kind of like alluding to something, and then I mean, there's a hand, there's also a mask, and I definitely knew that at the time of kind of heightened COVID infections, that the mask was going to be definitely part of the portraits. It occurs in a number of them. And so as I was kind of developing these, I brought in more face into them. And so I started working out, the eyes and the nose, but there's still mask in there. This is a dual portrait, male and female figure heads, and they have the face shields and the masks. Something that we've come to really see a lot, even not just in hospitals but people would go to stores sometimes and
out on the street.
Face shields on the street, wearing
So
gloves.
yeah, that's really lovely. I love seeing sort of the covered and the uncovered and this graduation from all masked to maybe an unmasking.
And unmasking, yeah. This one is kind of there's this idea of sort of water looking through maybe a fish tank or just looking through the water. So there's a little bit of an allusion to like water body here.
And
the
kelp.
Yeah, kelp, lots of kelp, lots of hikes during shelter in place. Lots of hikes of the ocean.
Solitary moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And your color palette, you've been working with the strong color palette for quite a while now. How is that working for this series for you?
Yeah, I mean, initially, not just for this work, but initially, like sort of really strong reds, right, and the grays and the greens. Initially, red was kind of reserved for the figures. Then, I mean, here, I guess it is more on the figure, but making its way in some instances into the backgrounds. I mean, there is lots of reds in my work.
I just love this color palette, this particular color palette.
I was analyzing my own sort of red use in the work quite recently, and I started to think of it as maybe that is the color that I really grew up with. I come from former Soviet Union, and growing up there, I mean that abundance of red was really everywhere. It was for big holidays, like red fabric would be everywhere. We would also wear like the pins and red ties, and in school, like elementary school, middle school, high school. I mean, there would always be this sort of presence of, I mean, not to mention, of course, the flag of the former Soviet Union, but there were a lot of the symbolic pieces in the culture, of course, specifically, I mean, for the promoting of the red state.
Is this a color that you think?
But I think, I mean,
continue?
It's probably permeated,
Yeah.
so much of my sort of consciousness of consciousness that I never thought of. I mean, of course, I know it's a strong color, but I never thought of it as something like outside of the reach. I mean, it almost always felt very natural to use it. So yeah, I mean, I think that might be kind of an answer to.
That's an interesting note. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Well, we're so excited that you were part of this show.
Thank you.
And they're just lovely works. So thank you so much, Elvira.
Thank you.